Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I know so many of you over on TikTok have been blowing up the comments asking for this, so today we're finally doing some customer reviews analysis for it. But before we dive into that, be sure to check out this exclusive discount available for it. You'll find it in the description and in the first comment under this video. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer finds this ergonomic mouse to be a very premium and unique device that is almost perfect. After experiencing disappointments with other mice, including some from well-known manufacturers that failed prematurely, this client was immediately impressed by the exceptional build quality of this particular device. The fit and finish are described as some of the best they've ever seen, with tight, consistent seams where all the parts meet. The texture has a unique, silky smooth feel that isn't quite matte or glossy. Beyond the materials, the tactile feedback is excellent, from the satisfying clicks of the buttons to the snap of the magnetic base. One of the standout features for our reviewer is how quiet the clicks are, noting they are basically inaudible over the sound of their desktop computer fans. Ergonomically, this device is a huge success. For someone with large hands who uses a palm grip, it provides a level of comfort far superior to any standard mouse they have used. A neat bonus feature is the side scroll ball, which this client actually prefers over a traditional middle mouse scroll wheel. However, the design isn't without its quirks. The placement of the back and forward thumb buttons was found to be inconvenient, situated a little too low and forward to be reached comfortably. Additionally, while the small onboard screen is a cool concept for checking settings, its downward sloping position makes it impossible to see at a glance, requiring one to lift the mouse to view it. Despite these minor frustrations, the initial impression is overwhelmingly positive, and our reviewer is hopeful that it will hold up well over time.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer initially purchased this pointing device because of hand pain, specifically in the finger joints and tips, stemming from extensive computer use, often 12-14 hours a day, 5 days a week, plus around 8 hours on weekends. While a fan of a certain popular brand of flat mice, the prolonged usage was no longer sustainable for comfort. After years of using touchpads and experiencing immediate fingertip discomfort, it was clear a change was needed. Being on the verge of serious discomfort and experiencing a slowdown in productivity pushed our reviewer to explore alternatives. After considering a higher-priced vertical mouse from a well-known brand, they opted to try this ergonomic mouse, particularly drawn to its included wrist slider attachment, anticipating wrist discomfort from desk friction. The experience was surprisingly positive. Within just an hour of use, the hand already felt better. A week later, the finger pain was gone. After just 2 days, this client purchased a second unit for another set of computers. Having multiple computers and preferring to switch between them seamlessly, the reviewer is seriously considering purchasing a third of these mouses to keep at another home office, avoiding the need to carry one around. Regarding functionality, the scroll wheel works perfectly for navigation on a Mac, contrary to some reports. To address any initial lack of control due to the different hand position, the top button allows for adjusting the mouse speed, significantly improving accuracy. The thumb click buttons also function flawlessly on a Mac. The only minor issue encountered was when copying and pasting between a Mac operating system and a Windows virtual machine. The copy function sometimes failed to translate between the two. However, this was easily circumvented by using keyboard shortcuts for copying and pasting. Finally, the wrist attachment, while removable, is considered essential, enhancing gliding in.
Alright, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer purchased this ergonomic mouse a while back, opting for the white version since the desired mossy green color seemed unavailable in the wireless model at the time. Of course, a few months later, the green version appeared. While the color preference remains, the white has held up well, only showing some discoloration where fingers rest. Regarding aesthetics, our reviewer finds the RGB lighting a bit puzzling. Despite tinkering with the settings, it always turns off after a few seconds, reactivating briefly upon movement before shutting off again when the palm covers the mouse. While appreciating the battery-saving aspect, this client wishes the light would stay on longer when the mouse isn't in use. In terms of size, this mouse is a tad large for smaller hands. It's still functional, but occasionally feels a little awkward. The back button is frequently used, but reaching the forward button requires hand repositioning. The side scroll ball hasn't seen much action, but is still fun to play with occasionally. The middle scroll wheel is solid, textured, and surprisingly clean. It's not the smoothest, but works well enough. The clicks are quite pronounced, which took some getting used to coming from a quieter mouse. This reviewer cautions that this mouse might not be the best for those seeking silence. The standout feature is undoubtedly the OLED screen. Being able to quickly check the battery level, which is pretty decent, and DPI settings is fantastic. However, viewing the screen requires lifting the mouse as it's difficult to read from a top-down perspective and would be nice to have the option to change the font. The included magnetic wrist rest hasn't been utilized much due to space constraints, but it's a welcome addition nonetheless. Overall, this client really likes this mouse, only wishing it were a bit smaller and that the older mouse had lasted just a bit longer so they could have snagged the green version.
That's it for this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.